So tonight, as we're all here together, there's going to be a few different things happening. Um, I'm going to be presenting a little bit first about the vegan transformation and the impact that has unfolded since it's been out in the world for 6 months now. Victoria Moran, who is a mentor to me, a friend and colleague, and also the writer of the Foreword, she's going to be sharing a little bit. And she's also the author of many books, and so was really an inspiration to me. Lantern Publishing and Media, who published the book, and I'm just so honored that I was able to have a book with them. They're going to speak briefly as well. Brian, the publisher, and Louisa, who heads the Lantern Voices podcast. Stacy Anderson, my audiobook creator, she'll be sharing briefly. And then a few of the people that I interviewed will be sharing a little bit of their story. There were so many people I interviewed that they couldn't all obviously share today, but just a few samples to give a feel for what is in the book. And last of all, there will be a drawing for some free audiobooks and also a few free Lantern books at the very end. So thanks for being here, and let me just dive in. So going vegan was a transformation that I didn't see coming. I grew up in Iowa in the heart of farm country, and I was really aware of all the farms around me, but I just had very little awareness of how my food was produced or the realities of animal agriculture. And I also had a lot of my own personal issues that made it hard for me to think of, changing my diet or trying to have a healthier or more compassionate diet. I had my own kind of food addictions and other challenges that got in the way of me even thinking about like, well, is what I am eating the best thing for me to eat? So even though I was a psychologist and I help people with lifestyle change and health issues and managing stress, I'm going to switch to, sorry, I thought I was in my slideshow mode here. Let me go forward here. So even though I tried to help other people with their health and their emotional well-being, I wasn't really eating healthy. And so I probably wasn't too much help on the nutrition front myself because I had my own issues with being a chocoholic and eating what was comforting and convenient. And so it seems like a lot of my food related decisions, looking back, were based more on what gave me the dopamine hit, not what was actually really healthy. So I had what I think of as like an awakening or a light bulb moment. And this was in late 2006. I happened to see a program about workers in a meat processing plant. And even though the program did not really show any details about what happened in the meat processing, just what happened with the workers was enough to get me thinking. And very soon I thought, well, if you don't like how the workers are treated, what do you think happens to the animals? And this just led into my awakening to all the realities of animal agriculture. I saw what looked like cows peacefully grazing in the field, even though, now I know that even what we call humane farming isn't so humane. But I also had no idea about factory farming at all. And as I began after that program, going to the library and buying books and just reading everything I could, this led me first to go vegetarian. And, I started cooking, reading about nutrition, learning about all the ethical aspects of what I eat. And so I started as a vegetarian for ethical reasons. I just could no longer eat meat once I really connected. And then over time, I guess that connection deepened. And finally, after several years, I became fully vegan. And there was something about being vegan that actually led to a bigger interchange than vegetarian had. It seemed to really awaken something in me that I found, I guess, a greater sense of freedom and peace. I hadn't known there was sort of a weight on me from what I was eating, but when I felt freed from having to eat animal products and knowing that I could actually thrive and, honor my values. There just was this sense of peace, authenticity, freedom, and a deeper purpose. I mean, I'd already found purpose through my work as a psychologist, but there was something about veganism that has an impact on so many things I care about. So I've always identified as an introvert, and I still am an introvert in that I need time to recover after social events and things like that. But I found my voice in a way that I had never really had before. And I think what I really discovered through going vegan was how the things I care about can be so deeply interconnected with lifestyle and what I'm eating. And so, as I made this choice really as an act of compassion for animals, it was also compassionate to myself, to other people, to all beings in the planet. And there was something about how that all connected that felt really fulfilling and freeing. And so my own transformation led to my book research. I'd read a lot about the health benefits of a plant-based lifestyle, and I'd read a lot about the ethics of, why going vegan is a really aligned choice, but I hadn't read as much about how does it affect us emotionally, psychologically, socially, spiritually when we go on this path? What are the benefits? And of course, having to acknowledge the challenges as well, but how do we deal with those challenges so that we can move towards this lifestyle, sustain it, and thrive? And so, after doing the surveys and interviews, which started back in 2021, there was the whole process of, the research and then the writing and then the publishing. And then finally, this spring, it came out on Earth Day. And it was just really so meaningful to see it. And by the way, I hear so many positive comments on the cover. I'm really thrilled that we found the designer that we did to bring that out. So the research showed 7 core pillars that came through with the interviews and surveys that I did. And these were the most common benefits that the people I interviewed and surveyed reported. Being truly aligned with their values and really living that in their choices. Spreading empathy and compassion and having that expand to beyond where it had been before. Many of us are compassionate towards certain beings and certain people, but we leave others out. So that expansion of compassion was one of the benefits. Um, Meaning and purpose. So many of the people I interviewed had found a deep sense of purpose. And in fact, some of those who will be speaking, have made it part of their life's work to share this lifestyle in some way or another. Authentic fulfillment, maybe not being happy all the time, because when you know about the tough things in life, it's hard to be constantly happy. But there's this deeper fulfillment of doing what you can, even when you can't do everything. Deep, meaningful connections. People across the globe sometimes can connect with each other through this shared passion for veganism. Health empowerment, and then also a sense of unity or interconnectedness with all sentient beings. These were some of the core findings. And in the book, I shared those core themes, including the stories and quotes of the people I interviewed that related to those themes, as well as where they fit into the larger literature in positive psychology and lifestyle medicine, and then how you can integrate it into your own life through different exercises. So, what has been the impact of the vegan transformation? Well, with first of all, the support of Sandra Namoto, who was my publicist from March to about June, I was on 35 to 40 podcasts. My book or articles by me or excerpts of the book were featured in several guest articles online, as well as some review articles. Over the summer, I did several in-person events at Veg Fests and some presentations and book signings. And I'm really honored to get some reviews on Amazon and Goodreads, although I definitely could use a lot more. So I'm just going to say right now, if any of you here have not done that and you have read even part of the book and you liked it, please, please leave a review because I understand they make a big difference in other people being more likely to pick up your book. So some of the reviews from vegans that they shared with me that I think really were very meaningful. Linda Middlesworth, who actually was one of the people whose story is shared in the book. She is a super inspiring vegan advocate and also kind of health guide to people. And she has been vegan for many years, is also an aerobics instructor, but she wrote, I really love Angela's book because she intertwines all the ways that we can become better humans and live with purpose. Angela opened an even wider focus for me in that she includes not only the ethical goals that I already know and understand, but also gives me a way to take care of my whole emotional self with mindful exercises, which that is one of the themes of the book is, that we as vegans have to take care of ourselves to be sustainable and to have the big impact that we want to have. Jennifer shared, this book was what I needed to refresh my enthusiasm in following a vegan lifestyle. Even if you've read all the plant-based and vegan books out there like I have, you'll find something new in this book. I'm always intrigued by other people's stories, and Angela has done a wonderful job in highlighting individuals in this thoughtful book. And then last of all, JJ, I loved it. The Vegan Transformation is not your typical vegan book. It's not just about nutrition stats. It goes deeper into the heart and soul of what changes when we align with compassion. What really sets the book apart is how it explores emotional, spiritual, and psychological transformation that comes with going vegan. So thank you for your comments. And, that really, those things mean a lot. And I haven't heard quite as much from my pre-vegan or veg-curious readers, but I have heard from a few that are friends or, that people that I've known that have read the book. And, some have said it's gotten them thinking more about the issues and being more in that path towards vegan. And one good friend in particular, her husband bought it to help her um, with some health issues. She was having heart issues. He bought a signed copy from me. They were both friends that had gone to my church previously. Um, and so Margot ended up applying a whole food, plant-based vegan lifestyle and has had changes in her blood work and even surprisingly has also improved her arthritis and had more energy and other health improvements. So those things are so uplifting for me to hear. So
That's awesome.
thank
Congratulations.
you.
I'm sure
Thank
it's
you.
helping also more people than you'll hear from. So that's amazing. We know that, not everyone can or will reach out, but it's definitely inspiring people I know.
Uh, Thank you, JJ, and thanks for your support. So wrapping up my part of this, I just want to say that, when I became vegan, which was in 2019, it was dubbed the year of the vegan. And I have to say that, I've become aware this past year that these last several months, the forces of society don't feel quite as supportive for veganism as compared to even when I was writing the book. But I continue to hold the vision of a compassionate, healthy vegan world, a world where we end exploitation and unnecessary harm to animals, where we see that all sentient beings matter, where we care about one another, ourselves, and our planet. And in fact, one of the meditations in the book is on visioning a compassionate vegan world. And when I come out of the slides, I will later put the link to the meditations in the chat so that you can, if you haven't caught the meditations, you can listen to them. And so I invite you to imagine what would this compassionate vegan world look like and feel like for you? A world where we're really kind to one another and all beings and care for the world that we live in. And I just truly believe we're each called to bring our unique gifts ourselves to contribute to this compassionate world. And so I thank each of you, including those who are sharing today and others of you that are just present. Thanks for all you're doing to contribute to this world of peace, healing, and compassion, and for being here tonight. I'm going to exit out of the slides.